Considering its relatively low budget, the action film The Beekeeper was quite successful with worldwide box office takings of $162 million. Now The Beekeeper 2 is in the works, and Jason Statham is back. As the trade magazine Deadline reports, filming is set to begin as early as this fall. This time, the director is not David Ayer again, but Timo Tjahjanto. In recent years, the Indonesian filmmaker has made a name for himself with action blockbusters such as The Night Comes With Us and The Shadow Strays. He's also currently working on the sequel Nobody 2 starring Bob Odenkirk, which will be released in cinemas on August 15th. Meanwhile, the screenplay for The Beekeeper 2 is being written by Equilibrium author Kurt Wimmer. Jason Statham will also be working behind the scenes as a producer in addition to playing the lead role. Details on the plot or the release date have yet to be revealed. Vin Diesel is in a chatty mood. In an Instagram post, the Hollywood star goes into great detail and gives us an in-depth update on his upcoming film projects. Among other things, he talks about a possible Guardians of the Galaxy spin-off and Fast X Part 2. Diesel's most important words for Marvel fans: Disney wants their Planet X. This refers to a film about the character Groot from the Guardians of the Galaxy series. The movie will be about Groot's return to his home planet. Vin Diesel is the voice actor for the character, and he last dubbed Groot in the animated series I Am Groot on Disney+. The actor also states that he's spoken to the studio Lionsgate about the future of his character Calder, who's the protagonist of the 2015 film The Last Witch Hunter. A new installment of the XXX series is also being planned. In the movies, Diesel plays the main character Xander Cage. With Rock'em Sock'em, a so-called testosterone-charged answer to Barbie, is also in development. Behind the project is toy company Mattel. Diesel also hopes to sit in the director's chair soon. He'd like to make a detective film in a New York setting. First up for the Hollywood star, however, are probably Riddick 4 and, of course, Fast X Part 2. Filming for the grand finale of the action series is set to take place this summer. The MCU is heading for a gigantic finale. As Marvel fans are eagerly awaiting the upcoming movies, a number of concept images for Avengers 5 Doomsday have now been leaked, revealing some details about the plot. In this section, we talk about the content and the meaning of the images, so there's some risk for spoilers. However, we're unable to show the leaks here for legal reasons. Now, although Marvel is still remaining silent about the plot of the 2 Avengers movies, the concept images speak for themselves. Dr. Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr., will have a key role, emerging victorious in the first confrontation with the Avengers. The incursions established by Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness lead to the collapse of the multiverse, and the remaining fragments of reality merge to form the Battle World, a new realm over which Doom rules as a godlike emperor. In one of the images, Dr. Doom can be seen sitting on a huge throne in his castle. Kneeling before him is Reed Richards, while Doctor Strange and Yelena Belova seem to be working for him, all wearing medieval-inspired costumes. The images also depict different regions of the battle world. For example, Hulk, once again played by Mark Ruffalo, as well as She-Hulk and Hulk's son Scar, all live in a medieval village. Further scenes come from the Fantastic Four First Steps and confirm the appearance of Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. In the comics, Franklin Richards plays a crucial role in reconstructing the universe after Doom's fall. This could be the perfect introduction to integrate the X-Men into the MCU. Another surprise is the return of an Ultron variant, interpreted as Jocasta. In the comics, Jocasta was originally created by Ultron before joining the Avengers. There's also been long speculation about a younger Avengers team. The concept images now seem to confirm its existence under the name Champions. The members include Kamala Khan, Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang, Billy Kaplan, as well as his brother Tommy, and the mysterious creature Dupe. Interestingly, Wong and Star-Lord act as mentors of the team. Another scene shows Star-Lord as Vision's roommate, which will probably be further explored in the Vision Quest series. A new Black Panther could also be introduced into the MCU, and this is not particularly surprising, as there's been frequent speculation about a return of T'Challa in recent months. Various designs show an alternative version of the hero, including a variant without a helmet. Fans speculate that this could be F1 actor Damson Idris, who has already been talked about as a possible successor. However, contrary to all expectations, it could possibly also be his son, who was introduced in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. After all, several years have passed since the sequel, so an adult version of the character is feasible. Now, although the concept images appear to be real, there's no guarantee that all of it will end up in the final movie. Marvel has not yet officially commented on this, and some of these ideas could still be scrapped. However, it's clear from the leak that Avengers 5 and Avengers 6 will stick closely to the comics. Avengers 5 Doomsday will still have its premiere on May 1st, 2026, and Avengers 6 Secret Wars will then follow a year later on May 7th, 2027. There's disappointing news from the world of Middle-earth. The latest movie in the fantasy franchise, The Hunt for Gollum, was originally scheduled for release in 2026. But as the portal The Direct has now learned from Gollum actor Andy Serkis, this date can no longer be met. According to Serkis, they're currently only in the early stages of the writing process. In the course of 2025, they want to make all the preparations so that filming can begin in 2026. The theatrical release date has been pushed back by 1 year compared to the previous plan. So instead of December 2026, the new adventure from Middle-earth is now slated for December 2027. The movie title The Hunt for Gollum already gives us a first indication of the plot. According to initial theories, the film will probably be set more or less at the same time as the beginning of The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring. The story centers on Gollum, who is being sought by several factions due to his knowledge of the whereabouts of the ring. One thing is certain, Andy Serkis will once again slip into the iconic role of Gollum. The actor already portrayed Gollum in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies with the help of motion capture. Furthermore, Andy Serkis will also direct the film. The screenplay is being worked on by Philippa Boyens and Fran Walsh, among others. Together with Peter Jackson, the two of them wrote all of the screenplays for the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films. And of course, Jackson also directed these projects. But for The Hunt of Gollum, he's only involved as a producer this time. The magical trio is complete, with Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox having already confirmed their return for Scream 7. Another veteran of the horror series is now making a comeback, according to Deadline. We're talking about David Arquette. This news may come as a surprise to some fans, as Deputy Dewey Riley was murdered in Scream 5. And the same goes for characters of Scott Foley and Matthew Lillard. How exactly the deceased characters will return in Scream 7 remains a big mystery. Will they be shown in flashbacks? Are they doppelgangers or even supernatural elements? The makers are still staying tight-lipped. David Arquette's character Dewey Riley first appeared in Scream in 1996 and quickly became a favorite among viewers. As the good-natured, if somewhat clumsy Woodsboro policeman, he tried to solve the series of murders. Particularly tragic for him was the death of his sister Tatum, played by Rose McGowan, who was one of the victims of the infamous Woodsboro murders. In the course of the series, Dewey married the journalist Gail Weathers, played by Courtney Cox. Alongside Arquette, Foley, and Lillard, Neve Campbell, Mason Gooding, and Jasmine Savoy Brown are also back. New additions to the cast include Isabel May, Celeste O'Connor, and Asa Gurman. According to The Hollywood Insider Daniel Rickman, the central themes of the 7th part will be AI and deepfake, and it's still uncertain in what form these topics will be part of the plot. However, it's already known when we can expect the new film from director and franchise legend Kevin Williamson. Scream 7 will be released in theaters on February 27th, 2026. Following a major update on the upcoming DC productions, fans can now take a first look at one of the announced series. We're talking about the first official image of the HBO series Lanterns. With Lanterns, we can expect a new adaptation of the Green Lantern comics. Back in 2011, Casino Royale director Martin Campbell attempted an adaptation. However, the film starring Ryan Reynolds was not so popular with fans. So now things are set to improve. With HBO, a prestigious television network is devoting itself to the comic adaptation. Production of the series has now officially begun, and proof of this was provided in the form of a first image. It shows Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan and Aaron Pierre as John Stewart. The characters are two intergalactic cops who become embroiled in a mystery while investigating a murder on Earth. In the picture, the two can be seen traveling through the American heartland. The series is set to be reminiscent of one of the best HBO series in terms of tone, namely True Detective. Important roles will be played by Kelly MacDonald, who will be seen as Sheriff Carey, and Fear of the Walking Dead actor Garrett Dillahunt, among others. The antagonist Sinestro will be played by Banshee actor Ulrich Thompson. Chris Mundy, who was involved in Ozark and True Detective as a writer, will function as showrunner. And Lost creator Damon Lindelof is also involved in the realization of Lanterns. The DC series is expected to be released in the course of 2026. The future of the DCU has plenty to be excited about. In an interview with trade magazine Variety, James Gunn and Peter Safran gave an update on their upcoming film and series projects. These include the Teen Titans live-action film adaptation, The Penguin Season 2, and The Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson. Gunn and Safran started by emphasizing their philosophy that no film or series gets the green light until a finished script is ready. Quote by James Gunn, "It's hard enough making a good movie with a good script. It's almost impossible making a movie with the script that you're writing on the run." This approach is in stark contrast to Marvel. Here, projects are often announced with a fixed release date, even though the scripts have not even been written yet. The output of upcoming projects, on the other hand, shows some parallels with Marvel. Gunn and Safran confirmed that 2 live-action films and 1 animated film, as well as 2 live-action series and 2 animated series, will be released each year. The focus will be on The Brave and the Bold, which will introduce Batman to the main DCU. However, Robert Pattinson is not expected to take on the lead role, as his version of The Dark Knight is set in a different timeline. There's also some initial news for the movie Clayface. Among others, British director James Watkins has been confirmed to be the director. Gunn emphasized that the film is intended to be a body horror in the style of The Fly. Filming will begin as early as this summer. Animated series won't be neglected in the coming years either. A project called My Adventures with Green Lantern is currently in development, for example, which tells the story of high school student Jessica Cruz, who becomes the champion of the Green Lantern ring. DC Superpowers, in turn, is about a group of young heroes who develop their powers at the Alliance School for Heroes. And Starfire deals with the origin story of the Teen Titans character of the same name. The Teen Titans live-action movie is also still in development. Booster Gold and Paradise Lost are still on the schedule, but there's no further details yet. The series Waller, revolving around Viola Davis's character of the same name, has had a particularly bumpy start, as the script has been rewritten several times. The series was originally planned before the second season of Peacemaker. And not too much has progressed with regard to the Batman 2. According to Peter Safran, writer and director Matt Reeves has not handed in a complete script yet. However, the first passages of the story are said to be extremely promising. The blockbuster starring Robert Pattinson will still be released on October 1st, 2027. Whether there will also be a second season of The Penguin is still uncertain. This probably depends on whether Colin Farrell expresses interest in slipping into the costume of the ruthless villain once again. Regarding the Sergeant Rock film, James Gunn made it clear that it had never been officially announced. Daniel Craig had also never been in talks for the lead role. Recently, there was also news that he would not be involved, contrary to reports. Swamp Thing comes with less welcome news. The horror film is still in limbo, as director James Mangold is primarily focusing on the Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown. However, things are particularly bad for the project The Authority. Gunn has spoken at length about the film in 2023 and emphasized that the plot of the film should take place after the events of Superman. At the center of the story is a group of superheroes who represent uncompromising morals. Over the past 2 years, though, The Authority has increasingly faded into the background. But on July 11th, Superman will be the official kickoff for the new DCU in cinemas. It'll be interesting to see what happens after that. The first significant casting for the highly anticipated Harry Potter series is now official. Conclave actor John Lithgow will play the iconic role of Albus Dumbledore. In an interview with Screen Rant, Lithgow revealed that he was surprised himself and also admitted that the decision to take on the role was not an easy one. Quote, "Well, it came as a total surprise to me. It was not an easy decision because it's going to define me for the last chapter of my life, I'm afraid. But I'm very excited. That's why it's been such a hard decision. I'll be about 87 years old at the wrap party, but I've said yes." Lithgow, known for the series Dexter and The Crown, thus follows in the footsteps of Richard Harris and Michael Gambon, who played Dumbledore in the original Harry Potter movies. So it's not an easy legacy. Other well-known actors had previously been considered for the role. Mark Rylance in particular was seen as a favorite, but decided against the role after he backed out following the death of his wife. At one point, Mark Strong was also in discussion. The new Harry Potter series will adapt the 7 books of J.K. Rowling in 1 season each, and there's no exact release date yet, but experts assume that the first season won't premiere on HBO before the end of 2026 or even 2027 at the earliest. According to rumors, the actors for Harry, Ron, and Hermione have already been cast as well, but no further details are known. Big news from the movie business. Amazon MGM has been given creative control of the James Bond franchise. Amazon announced this in a statement. 2021 marked the release of No Time to Die, the last Bond film in movie theaters around the world. And since then, a new movie has not really been in the pipeline. And there are good reasons for this, as a lot has happened behind the scenes since 2021. In 2022, shipping giant Amazon took over the film studio MGM. The James Bond IP was also part of this deal, as the rights to the franchise are shared by MGM and Eon Productions. Eon Productions is led by Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. According to a new statement, however, these two are now backing out. Broccoli and Wilson remain co-owners of the franchise, but creative control will now move to Amazon. The Broccoli family has always been closely associated with the Bond series, and the consequences of their decision to step back from the creative responsibility are not entirely clear yet. It's possible that the development of a new Bond film and the casting of a new actor will progress more quickly. Amazon's creative control may also mean that new projects in the Bond universe are now being pursued. One thing is certain, however, this news is a major turning point in the history of the Agent series.